Jason, a former car driver, was unfairly accused and arrested for the murder of his wife. After being convicted, he is sent to a maximum security prison, where the inmates are forced to participate in a deadly game called Death Race, organized by the cruel warden, Claire Hennessy. The world outside has collapsed. The American economy is in ruins, unemployment is at a record high, and crime has spiraled out of control. Prisons are overflowing, so private corporations take over, turning them into money-making machines. At Terminal Island Penitentiary, prisoners once fought in live cage matches for online audiences. But when viewers demanded something more exciting, the infamous Death Race was born. In this brutal competition, prisoners drive heavily modified cars equipped with lethal weapons, and the promise is simple: whoever wins 5 consecutive races will be set free. Jason is forced to take the role of Frankenstein, a masked racing legend who secretly died after his last race. To keep the ratings alive, Hennessy makes Jason wear the mask and continue the legacy. After his arrest, Jason is transferred to Terminal Island, where the guards treat inmates like animals. Guard Ulrich hoses him down with freezing water and throws him into a cell with 3 hostile prisoners, expecting them to beat him up. But Jason, being a skilled fighter, knocks them all out. The next morning, he enters the chow hall where other inmates watch him closely. Lists, a quirky prisoner who knows everyone's backstory, recognizes Jason as a former racing champion. But trouble finds him quickly when Pachinko, the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, spits on his food and calls him a woman killer. Jason loses his temper and attacks him, until guards break it up and drag him away. He is taken to see Warden Hennessy, who reveals her plan. Frankenstein, the Death Race's most famous driver, died after his last competition, but the audience doesn't know that. She wants Jason to take his place under the mask. Frankenstein had already won 4 races, which means Jason would only need to win 1 more to earn his freedom. But Hennessy makes it clear this isn't a choice. If Jason refuses, she'll throw him into solitary confinement where he can't expose her secret. With no way out, Jason is forced to agree. He's then introduced to Frankenstein's team in the prison auto shop: Coach, the experienced leader; Gunner, the mechanic; and Lists, the brains of the group. They show him the car he'll be driving, a heavily armored Mustang V8 fastback, equipped with machine guns, napalm, and a defensive steel shield. But there's a catch. Weapons are only activated during the race through special pressure plates on the track, so no inmate can use them to escape. As Jason explores the yard, List points out his rivals. There's 14K, a Triad member and MIT graduate; Hector Grimm, a violent psychopath; Travis Colt, a disgraced NASCAR driver; and Machine Gun Joe, the deadliest racer who dreams of being the new champion. Joe doesn't use female navigators like the others. Instead, he has his own men riding with him, because he goes through women so fast that it disgusts the audience. Jason also notices something odd. The workers returning from outside have GPS tracking bracelets on their wrists. Suddenly, he remembers that the masked man who killed his wife had one too. This makes him realize he was set up. On race day, Jason is given Frankenstein's black suit, gloves, and mask. The moment he appears, the ratings skyrocket. Viewers believe the legendary racer has returned. Coach reminds him that Frankenstein never spoke to other drivers. It was part of his mystique. Inside the car, though, Jason can take off the mask, since the Mustang's windows are mirrored. Every driver is assigned a navigator from the nearby women's prison. Jason's navigator is Case, a sharp and fearless woman who knows the track inside out. When Jason asks what she's in prison for, she calmly admits she killed her abusive husband, a cop. The race begins, and in the first laps, weapons aren't activated yet. Drivers try to ram and push each other off the track, but thanks to Case's guidance, Jason holds his own against Machine Gun Joe and even takes the lead by using a shortcut. Then, Hennessy activates the pressure plates that trigger the car's weapons. The track turns into chaos. Machine guns and rockets fire everywhere, while explosive traps called Death Heads spring up from the ground. Grimm, one of the racers, pushes a weaker car into a Death Head, killing him instantly. Joe also gets delayed after oil is sprayed on his windshield, but soon he's back in the fight. Jason tries to activate his Mustang's front machine guns, but they jam and won't fire. Case climbs onto the hood mid-race to fix them while bullets rain down, and Jason dodges every attack until she gets back inside. When Travis Colt threatens them, Jason thinks quickly. He detaches the car's napalm tank and has Case launch it at Colt's vehicle, setting it ablaze and knocking him out of the race.
Merry Christmas, asshole!
Oh, shit!
But then, Jason spots something chilling. His rival Pachinko makes a hand gesture. the same one the masked man made after killing his wife. Jason freezes for a moment, and Machine Gun Joe takes advantage, ramming Jason's car and pushing him back. By the end of Stage 1, Pachinko takes first place while Jason finishes last. 3 drivers are dead, 6 remain. Back in the auto shop, Coach checks Jason's car. Everything works perfectly, which means the weapon's failure wasn't an accident, it was sabotage. After the first race, Jason storms into Hennessy's office. He tells her he knows Pachinko was the one who killed his wife, and that the whole thing was a setup to frame him so she could force him into Frankenstein's role. Hennessy doesn't deny it directly, but she coldly shows Jason a photo of his baby daughter, now placed in foster care. If he wants to see her again, he has no choice but to keep racing. Jason returns to the yard frustrated, where he has a quiet talk with Coach. He asks why Coach doesn't wear a prison number like the others. Coach explains he actually earned parole years ago, but chose not to leave. The outside world had changed too much, and inside the prison, he felt a sense of belonging. He also tells Jason he doesn't believe he killed his wife. Later that night, while working on the Mustang, Jason notices Pachinko passing by and follows him into his pit. But it's an ambush. Pachinko's men jump him. They beat Jason down and prepare to kill him with a heavy tool, until Liz sneaks in and stabs one of them with a pen. Jason seizes the moment, grabbing a shard of metal to stab another thug, then brutally fights his way free. He finally corners Pachinko and beats him until he confesses. Yes, Hennessy ordered him to kill Jason's wife, and Ulrich, the sadistic guard, brought him into Jason's house that night. Before Jason can snap Pachinko's neck, Ulrich arrives with another guard and breaks it up, threatening Jason with worse punishment if he causes more trouble. The next morning, Stage 2 of the death race begins. Pachinko taunts Jason again with the same hand gesture, but this time Jason keeps his cool. During the opening laps, Jason purposely slows down and takes a tunnel to confront Case in private. He accuses her of sabotaging Frankenstein's car and threatens to eject her out if she doesn't tell the truth. Reluctantly, Case admits it. Hennessy promised her freedom in exchange for sabotaging Frankenstein's weapons. She insists she never meant for Frank to die. The plan was just to make him lose and keep him racing forever. Now knowing the truth, Jason shifts gears and speeds back into the race. His only target, Pachinko. He drives aggressively, ramming him off walls, then suddenly flips his car around and fires the Mustang's machine guns while driving backwards. Pachinko's vehicle takes heavy damage, and finally Jason smokes him into a concrete barrier. He steps out of his car, walks up to Pachinko, and breaks his neck with his bare hands, avenging his wife's murder. Meanwhile, Hennessy, frustrated by how things are going, decides it's time to introduce the final weapon she had been secretly building for months. The Dreadnought, a multi-weapon tanker truck capable of destroying anything in its path. The Dreadnought plows through the remaining racers' cars, instantly killing 2 minor competitors. Its ability to drive through buildings and shortcuts gives it a massive advantage. Only Jason and Machine Gun Joe remain. Jason and Joe realize they cannot defeat the Dreadnought alone. They agree to collaborate, coordinating their maneuvers. Using the manholes on the track to trigger defensive traps, they flank the Dreadnought from both sides. At the perfect moment, both cars hit a manhole, activating the trap that finally destroys the massive vehicle. With the Dreadnought gone, Stage 2 ends, leaving only Jason and Joe to face the final race. On the third and final stage, Jason prepares for the ultimate showdown. Hennessy, desperate to maintain control, secretly places a bomb under Jason's car and manipulates the manholes so that only Joe triggers the weapons first. Her plan is clear. Jason will never win 5 races, because no one ever has. Jason, however, has a counterplan. Coach and List had already shown him footage from Grimm's death, giving him an idea to turn the traps against Hennessy. Before the race begins, Jason asks Joe to cooperate once again. Together, they plan to use strategy rather than brute force. As the race starts, Ulrich activates the manholes against Jason, while Joe fires rockets at him. Jason dodges each attack, letting rockets hit a pre-weakened wall behind Grimm's old crash site. The explosions create a hole, providing the perfect opportunity for Jason's escape. Meanwhile, Jason secretly releases a half-gallon reserve fuel tank, causing the pursuing cars to explode in a massive wall of fire. Jason and Joe then split paths. Joe drives away to draw the helicopters and police, while Jason prepares for the final part of his plan. Passing under construction cranes, Jason jumps from his car and hides, allowing Case to take over driving. Case, dressed as Frankenstein, leads the police on a chase, eventually getting captured while Jason escapes. Most people believe Frankenstein is still behind the wheel, keeping Jason's identity secret. Jason reunites with Joe, and the two board a freight train to leave the area. Back in the prison offices, Ulrich says the ratings are off the charts and congratulating gifts are already arriving. Hennessy opens the gift box he's brought and finds the bomb Ulrich had put under Jensen's car, which then explodes, killing them both. 6 months later, Jason and Joe have settled in Santa Rosalia, Mexico. They run a mechanic shop together. Jason has regained custody of his daughter and Case visits after her release, bringing a racing car for them to inspect. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next story.